head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dog passed away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds. Whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside. A treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't match the cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I know there's a little difference here, not a little, big one. A big difference on our stream. I'm not really sure. I thought somebody last night said that they were able to change it, to switch it back to the other version. Because it's giving me both. Like, it shows on my side the normal, what it's been usually been. So I'm not really sure. Sorry, y'all. It didn't give me no other choice before I started. My name is Elizabeth, and maybe once I open it up like this, maybe it'll go back to the old way. Maybe not. Well, sorry, y'all. We'll try and figure it out. Just bear with us. Just bear with us. It'll be all right. My name is Elizabeth, and this is Hillbilly Crime. StreamYard has added a new vertical way of streaming, and I have 2 lives posted. Oh, so it's posting 2. After the show the other night, I noticed that there were 2 of them on the live. I don't know how that's happening. Sorry, y'all. So, yeah, if you want to, I think you can just exit out of the one that's on the vertical and go to the other one. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, but we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Mommy is supposed to be joining us tonight. So that'll be nice. She hasn't jumped on yet. I'm pretty sure I sent it to her though. All right. Well, good evening, y'all. Good evening. Welcome to the show. My name is Elizabeth. If you have not been here before, we are glad you're here. If you've not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, y'all. And the like button. It gets us out to a much larger, there we go. There's Sweet Tater. Gets us out to a larger group of people. And I think, Mommy, give me 1 second and let me disconnect from. There we go. Mommy, you want to fix your camera? I think it's got you a little stuck. We'll add you back. Well, Sweet Tater will be on here in just a second. Having some technical difficulties this evening. Coming live from the hollers of Appalachia, where truth ain't free and justice don't always the same, depending on who your daddy is.
Been playing. Are you back?
Yeah, there you are.
No.
Yep, I can hear you and see you now, Mommy.
No,
There you are. Okay.
I pulled that screen.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get my banjo because I think you're going to crash tonight. Okay. Let's just right over here.
You go right ahead and get your banjo, Mommy. You can pick your banjo anytime you want to. I don't make Mommy not play her banjo. Why, you try and tell her she can't play her banjo. No, ma'am. Elizabeth don't tell her mommy nothing. My mommy's always right. All right. I'm gonna read this intro, Mommy, while you're doing that. All right. So we are live from the hollers of Appalachia, where truth ain't free and justice don't always look the same, depending on who your daddy is. Now, tonight, we are going to dive into a case that shook a community and exposed the very cracks in the justice system that so many victims fall through every single day. Something that we talk about quite a bit. We're talking about the arrest of Jesse Mark Butler. No pun intended, and I don't think any relation to the Butler. Now, a young man facing serious sexual assault charges. Mommy, I'm gonna mute you there for a second because your computer's going a little nutso, a dinging. And I'll unmute you when you get your banjo up there. All right, so he was a young man, or is a young man, facing serious sexual assault charges that under the law should have carried decades in prison. But, here in Kentucky, we know what that usually ends up being. They throw this big old fuss about, we've indicted him, we've got a conviction, da 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 da. But depending on who their daddy is, what their last name is, and what circle they run in. Do they get probation? Do they get a smack on the hand? Or do they go to prison? Because it seems like it's only the poor, the ones that are in the not so coveted circles, that end up getting the heavy sentences. Grape, attempted grape, sexual battery, putting their hands around. These are not small accusations. These are felony level offenses that in most states carry sentences anywhere from 20 years to life. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But they just let them go here in Kentucky. Under criminal statutes across the country, sexual assault is divided into categories based on force. Remember hearing our Attorney General's Detective Easter with all of his, Ben didn't force you, did he? Oh, he didn't force you. Oh, man. I know, Ben. I just can't imagine a man forcing a woman. And I just don't think that you're that type of man, Ben. I just don't think that's you, man. No. I can't understand a man doing that to a woman. But what you did was different. Okay, so categories are based on force, consent, age, and bodily injury. When you see words like grape by force, sexual battery, or assault and battery by blah, 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 these aren't misdemeanors. No, they're not. These aren't teenage mistakes. Under the law, is considered an indicator of high lethality. Means it's lethal, highly lethal. Predictors of future homicide in DV cases. Yes, it makes a whole lot of sense to me. That's not something that the courts should be blinking at. And yet, here we are. Oh, here we are once again. This show tonight isn't just about the arrest. It's about the charges, what the charges mean, how the law is supposed to protect victims, and why these cases so often fail them, right? So it ain't just about getting them charged. That's the easy part. The hard part comes after that, right? And we're going to talk about isolation. One of the biggest weapons an abuser uses, and one of the least understood. People think that DV is just hitting or yelling, cussing, financially isolating them. But isolation is the slow, silent unaliver. It's when an abuser cuts off your friendships, distances you from your family, convinces you that nobody loves you but them, and nobody will ever believe you over them, and that they are your only safe place. Only they can love someone like you. Because not even your mommy loves you. Not even your daddy loves you. And even as adults, not even your children love you. That's control. That's grooming. That's psychological captivity. Isolation is how victims lose their footing. It's how they lose their support systems, their sanity, and sometimes their lives. And it's why so many don't speak up, because the abuser has spent months or years making sure that they have no one left to run to. They make sure that all those bridges are burned. So tonight, we're not just talking about an arrest, we're talking about a pattern, a system, a cycle, and why cases like these demand public attention, because silence is the abuser's best friend. So let's get into it. All right, Mommy, you want to pick your little banjo some? You go right ahead. Let me unmute you.
Ready to pick it. No, I didn't want to pick it. I was just tuning it.
Oh. Well, that's all right. You pick it all you want to.
Well, you just go right on and mute me.
All right. Well, we're going to watch a little bit of a video here. Court TV did one that's pretty good on Jesse Butler. And we're going to watch a little bit of it here.
High school athlete in Stillwater, Oklahoma, a big man on campus. But Jesse's life flipped when multiple 16-year-old girls accused him of repeated rape, strangulation, and violent assault. Police found video on his phone showing one victim unconscious from choking, a doctor saying she would have died if it lasted seconds longer. Facing up to 78 years behind bars, the community expected accountability. Instead, prosecutors applied the youthful offender statute, and in a stunning turn, Butler received a suspended 78-year sentence, avoiding prison time under strict supervision. Victims' families erupted in outrage, calling the result a betrayal of justice and an insult to trauma. What message does this send when a violent offender like this faces no real consequences?
Get ready to shake your head for the next hour as we go through this story and try to understand what happened here in Oklahoma. Let's begin by bringing in Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas, who's been on this story. Cody, let's start first, because I think we all need a clear understanding and picture of the specific allegations of the type of conduct we're talking about in this case.
Yeah, Vinny, it's kind of egregious when you really go through it. Jesse Butler faced 10 rape-related charges for alleged incidents that happened throughout 2024. Now, he pleaded no contest to them in the spring of 2025. But 2 victims came forward describing brutal sexual assaults, attacks that left them injured, no less. They said Butler forced them into having sexual intercourse and into doing sexual acts, saying they lived in fear, giving in to Butler's sexual demands in order to avoid him hurting them even more. Now, these 2 girls said they each dated Butler for a few months each. One victim described multiple violent sexual assaults. Now, she said one time she told Butler she did not want to have sex with him, but, and we'll quote from the rest of the arrest warrant affidavit now, Butler became angry, came up behind her, put his arm around her neck, and strangled her to unconsciousness. She could not breathe, scratched at his arms and tried to get away, but she could not free herself. The victim woke up on the floor of the living room after losing consciousness. Vinny goes on to say she reported there were red marks across her neck after Butler strangled her. Approximately 15 minutes after strangling her, Butler initiated sexual intercourse with her. Butler had sexual intercourse 3 or 4 times. The victim complied out of fear that he would strangle her again or hurt her. Now, the victim reported Butler wanted to have sexual intercourse every day. She described feeling coerced to comply to avoid being hurt. In addition to sexual intercourse, the victim reported Butler forced her to perform oral sex on him. He forcefully grabbed her head and pushed her down onto his penis. And after that, we feel the story becomes a bit too graphic to read on our show. But it goes on also to say the victim reported Butler digitally penetrated her so aggressively it caused her to bleed. The victim stated, "No matter what I told him, it did not change his mind." Now, there are many stories like this. Now, these two victims describe Butler forcing them into many different kinds of sexual acts that they didn't want any part of. And on top of all of that, investigators say they found a video they say shows Butler strangling one of the victims until she's unconscious. They say the timestamp backs up the victim's story. Now, I want to point out, Butler wasn't charged with rape by sexual intercourse. So prosecutors determined that while he allegedly coerced these girls into having sex with him, they ultimately consented. The charges were strangulation related and for kidnapping, sexual battery, and attempted rape and rape by instrumentation, among others. And again, Butler didn't spend any time in prison as a result of a deal between prosecutors and the defense. Butler is now 18, but he was under 18 when these alleged incidents happened. He was given a 78-year sentence that would have resulted in around 10 years in prison if served concurrently, Benny.
And it's corroborated by the video. So one of the stories, that she gives, one of the statements that one of the victims gives is fully corroborated on the video, which tells you about the rest of their statements as well. Now, let's talk about the victims here. Have we heard anything from the victims?
Yeah, Vinny, we have. The arrest warrant affidavit included what looks to be a letter one of the victims wrote to the court. And in it, she says, quote, "I will never forget the night you strangled me unconscious because I said no. That moment changed my life."
No.
A medical professional later told me that I was just 30 seconds away from dying. 30 seconds. If you had kept your hands on my neck just a little longer, I wouldn't be standing here today. That wasn't just a scare. It was a near-death experience. You didn't just hurt me, you nearly killed me. And because of that one act of violence, I had to have surgery on my neck. The damage you caused wasn't invisible, and it wasn't temporary. The pain lingered for months, and now the scar is something I'll carry for the rest of my life, a permanent reminder of what you did to me. I will never forget marble slab when you pinned me down, touched my body without permission while I begged you to stop. I screamed no over and over, and you ignored it. I will never forget what it felt like when you pinned me inside your truck and said, "You're not going anywhere until I finish," like I was just something to be used. You didn't just hurt me physically, you took pieces of my safety, my peace, and my sense of who I was. What you did wasn't just violence, it was betrayal, fear, shame, humiliation, and pain layered over and over. Over and over again, he told me that if I ever told anyone what he was doing, he would kill me, he would kill my family. I hope that one day you actually face what you've done, not just get punished, but really face it. Every time you ignored my no, every time you forced yourself on me, every time you laughed while I cried, I hope you understand how much it haunts me.
That's pretty hardcore. The girl, the victim saying, you laughed when I cried, and just all of the victim's statements. Those are what get me the most, are the victim's statements. The case that was here in Letcher County, the Patrick Little case, he kept, even after he pled guilty, he still continues to claim his innocence. And that he took the plea deal, which of course he got the deal of the century, so but anyway, I kept thinking, well, what if he's really innocent? He says he is. What if he really is innocent? Until I heard the victim's impact statement. When I heard the victim's impact statement that came directly from one of the little girls, minors, that he pled guilty to, he's guilty. That victim impact statement spoke so much. It spoke more than anything in the entire case, in that case for me. So hearing this little victim, or this victim speak, what do you think about any of it, Mommy?
Well, the victim statements always get me. I used to believe every one of them, but then you couldn't. But some of those statements that you hear, you know they're telling the truth.
Hmm.
Or at least I think they are. I mean, what do you know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, this little girl has the one in this case. She has evidence. Like she has. We're getting ready to look at some of what happened in in this case.
Mute me.
Okay. Let me get it pulled back up here. So we looked at that little bit of video from court TV, and we're going to see some of the body cam footage. They play some of that. But, you know, let's see, Jesse Butler, a teenager from Stillwater, Oklahoma. He looks a little bit older than a teenager to me, but he's underage. He's a teenager. He was 17 at the time, so he's over 18 now, I'm sure. But he was initially facing dozens of serious charges: attempted rape, battery by strangulation. He was 17 at the time of his arrest, though charged as an adult. Let's see. We're going to look at the moment when he was arrested. They, this down.
We're ready to honestly tell our story too.
Yeah.
Jess, it's Mom. Open the door. It's me.
And if you'll just have him step out. Then.
That's his mom.
Give me your wallet and phone and stuff. So, okay. Your what?
They're in the car.
Well, okay, it's fine. It's not locked or anything, is it? Okay. So, can you tell him what you just told me, or?
Yeah. So we're here. We're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact a bondsman, and you shouldn't be there very long. But there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs. So turn around for me.
You have to put in handcuffs?
Violent harassment, common transport, somebody in custody.
You know we're doing this. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll get you out. For me? Alright, stay silent. Rick knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's on his way. We're coming to get you, okay? Stay strong, okay? Say your prayers.
Okay. So we will. He's going to go right to the city of Stillwater jail, and if you'll just contact her, then she does this all the time. She knows what to do.
Yeah.
Make sure
Okay.
she knows Stillwater Police Department, not a county.
Yeah.
Stillwater Police Department.
we're the ones
On
that-
Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them know that
perfect.
we're the ones that picked him up.
And
They
when
don't-
you say we are the ones.
Stillwater PD.
Stillwater PD.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way they don't think he went like straight over and he's over at the county.
Positive experience with
Custody. Pass it down. Spread your feet for me. Nothing in there, son.
Love Jess. See you in a bit.
Okay. So So we'll stop sharing that, and then we're gonna go back to the court TV one and finish that up.
Vinny, some parents of the victims also wrote letters to the court as well. But Vinny, reading those words right there written by that victim, it's almost like you can just feel the pain and trauma with each word and each line that she wrote in that letter.
And again, the allegation corroborated on video. All right, Cody's going to stick around tonight. Thanks, Cody. That gets us to our first question tonight. And I think this is the most important question. What about the victims? What about these two victims? What about victims in general, future victims? Nothing happened to this young man, nothing of consequence. Here to help answer that question, digital journalist Justin Shepard. Justin's been working to shed light on the story to help protect victims and prevent others from being harmed. And Pascal, the host of the Pascal Show, Justin reached out to Pascal to flag him about this story and has been on it. Justin, I think, you know, the story starts with the victims here. You know, what about the victims? And I feel like for these two young ladies, it's going to be a long, difficult road for them. And then the salt in the wound is that, oh, look who's out.
Yeah, so I totally agree with you. And I think that for these two that came forward, it shows tremendous courage, and they were hoping to get justice. And what they really had happen to them was originally that 78-year sentence whittled down to 150 hours of community service. I know that I'm oversimplifying that. But basically, that's what this is about, and what the state of Oklahoma, what Payne County, Oklahoma said to these victims, in my opinion, is that you don't matter. This guy's more important, and what he did to you is of no consequence. And that's really what it's saying to these girls, because they're girls, they're children, right? They're 16 years old when this happens. You can see that he's a big guy. He overpowers them, and there's no justice. This is not justice.
No, you know, Pascal, it's 2025. That to me, it's 2020. I thought we had turned the corner everywhere, apparently not everywhere, in empowering victims and giving them, say, hey, we're there for you. The system is there for you. Prosecutors are there for you. They will fight for you. They will protect you. And that's not happening here.
You know what's really frustrating about this whole situation is that this is showing proof positive that if you know somebody, if you are connected in some sort of way, you could practically get away with murder. You have these people who are courageous, these women, these young girls that are courageous to step forward and speak out. And now, like what Justin said so beautifully, they're basically being told that, hey, you're just another one. Because, hey, he's going to go out there and do this again. And I'm not surprised if he's not out there doing it again right now as we speak.
I want to show you an image, Justin. This is from OklahomaWatch.org. And it's Jesse and I guess it's his mother. And they're in the hallway in the courtroom. There's another woman with them. The mother's on the left. He's got like his shades on. Like, what? To me, like a picture can speak volumes. Is there a sense of entitlement, of empowerment over the situation? Like, what's your sense, Justin, of what was going through the mind of this, what do I want to call him? Well, he's convicted, this convicted offender, this convicted, monster. What's your take on his take on what's happening to him?
So the other woman in the photo, as I understand it, is his sister, the one that's on the right. And here's kind of what I think's going on here, and obviously this is my opinion. Jesse Mack Butler is the son of Mack Butler, who is the former director of football operations for OSU, for Oklahoma State University, which is in Stillwater, Oklahoma, where they live. I kind of feel that what this is a situation of, it's a good old boys club. It's about who you know. When you're talking about a town like Stillwater, Oklahoma, that relies on a college like this, you have a person, the mom, my understanding, works for OSU still. The dad used to be a coach, director of football operations. That's going to carry a lot of weight in a town like that. And I feel that there's a lot of entitlement that, hey, and if you watch the body cam footage, he's like, mommy's going to get you out. Mommy's going to get you out of trouble. So there's no accountability from what I see, even from the side of the parents. Like, she knows, what he's being accused of. She knows why he's being arrested. And then allegedly, and this is according to one of the parents of one of the victims, that there was even an incident at that home where he was trying to force himself on one of these girls. She was screaming, struggling, saying no. Mom walks up to the door, knocks on it, says, hey, is everything okay in there? Jesse responds and says, yeah, everything's fine. And she walks away. This is under her own roof. So I feel like you have a lot of entitlement there with who the Butler family is in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
I want to show another picture. This is a picture of one of the victims. Obviously, the face will be blurred out. It's from the New York Post. They say they got it from the victim's family. That's this young girl in the hospital. In the hospital, Pascal. This isn't a case of like, oh, he said, she said, oh, maybe it was. No, maybe. No, there are actual injuries. There's video document. Like, there's no doubt about what happened here. And that's why he pleaded no contest to a certain extent, because he knew the evidence was there. He got a sweet deal, we understand. But at the end of, like, this is real. This isn't like, oh, it's in the gray area. It's not even close to the gray area.
Oh, this whole thing is as clear as black and white. There is no reason for him to even be able to be out here breathing in this freedom air, being free right now. I still just don't understand. This whole thing angers me beyond, I can't even put into words.
Now I'm going to stop at for just a second, and mommy's busy. Okay. So, that picture that we see on the screen right now, that is one of the girls that he attacked. And I don't see how this is, this shows me a pattern. It shows me like an MO, right? It shows, what he likes, let's see, let me get up here. We're going to pause this for a second and really talk about what we're looking at here. I've got some other pictures of her that we're going to look at. And they may not all be of her. I'm not sure. There were several pictures that are in the post. But when cases like this hit the news, especially when the accused comes from a well-known family, everybody wants to pretend that it's a one-off situation, like a fluke. It's just a mistake, a misunderstanding. But anybody who has lived long enough in the real world knows better. We know that this becomes a pattern. Violence doesn't start with violence. It starts with control. It starts with entitlement. It starts with little boundary violations that get bigger and bigger and bigger, until somebody gets hurt, and the whole world then says, well, we didn't see that coming. I would have never expected that. Oh, they saw it all right. They just didn't want to say it. They didn't want to admit it. And when we talk about sexual assault and DV, people always ask, why didn't she leave? Well, why didn't she say something sooner? But the truth is, most of the time, she tried. Most of the time, she tried to tell her family. She tried to talk to her friends. She tried to pull away. But abusers are masters of isolation and manipulation. They'll tell you your mama is against you, that nobody loves you, that your daddy don't love you, that your best friend is jealous, and that your boss hates you. And after a while, the victim starts believing that the only safe place is with the person that's hurting them. That's why strangulation is such a dangerous red flag. It's one of the highest predictors of homicide in relationships, and one of the most dangerous times for a woman is when she's leaving or when she's made up her mind to leave. When someone is willing to put their hands around your neck, they're telling you, I control your breath. I control your life. That's why the statute treats it as a violent felony. If any of you guys are like me, true crime buffs, you watch a lot of body cam footage. And one of the things that the police ask whenever there's a DV situation happening, whenever they're called out to a DV call or something, I've heard them every time. They ask them, was your breathing cut off? Whenever they put their hands around your neck, was there a time that you felt like your life was in danger? And they ask, was your breathing cut off? Those are two questions that I hear them ask in those situations. Okay. Because it's a warning sign that things can escalate very fast. And then you add in power, you add in a last name, you add in community status, and then suddenly the system treats it like a youthful mistake, a moment of weakness, a bad choice. No, this was not a mistake. This was not a moment. This was a pattern. And the fact that he cried for his mommy during the arrest doesn't erase the fear those victims felt in the moment they thought they were about to die. Now, what's worse is how often we see the system bend when the accused is connected. Victims are told to be quiet, to let it go, to protect reputations, to not ruin a young man's future because he has his whole life ahead of him. Let's not ruin this young man's life over a mistake that he made as a child. But nobody ever asks about the future of the person that he hurt. What about the future of these victims? They have to live with it for the rest of their lives, and oftentimes their lives are destroyed. So tonight isn't just about what happened in Stillwater. It's about what happens in every small town, every holler, every church, every family where abuse hides behind respectability. Respectability. It's about recognizing the patterns before they escalate. It's about understanding the law, understanding the warning signs, and understanding how abusers isolate their victims so completely that leaving feels impossible. This is not just true crime. This is real life. And some of us have lived some version of this story. So as we continue tonight, I want you all to think not just about the case, but about the people in your own lives, past or present, who showed these same kind of warning signs. Because the more that we talk about it out loud, the fewer people get trapped in silence. All right, so let's keep it going. I'm going to unmute Mommy here.
Oh,
Yes, because I have to go and get Gregory real quick, but it only takes me 5 minutes to get up there and get back. So I'm going to leave you on here, Mommy, and I'm going to let you run with it for 10 minutes. You think you can go for 10 minutes?
what am I supposed to do? Talk to people or?
Yeah, you got your comments there on your screen. Do you see comments?
You're in the show, it says. No.
You don't have comments over on the side?
Well, maybe they're on the right. Are they on the right?
Yeah, open up your thing there on the side.
Well, there's all these things over here that were annoying you.
It says comments at the top, it should say. But if not, that's okay. You can just talk. You know what we've been talking about.
Well, yeah, I know what y'all been talking about, that boy that's really been a bad boy, and he's attacked a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
And he cried when they arrested him, cried for his mommy. Well, that's sort of a odd thing, don't you think? She probably protected him, and he's never had to bear the consequences of his actions. And so he thinks just because he's big and can do it that he's going to bully people around. But you soon find that don't work. You know what I'm saying? People tend to fight back. Particularly you get a hold of them little fiery ones, and they'll fight you back. And they'll tell on you too.
Yeah. And they for some reason this I'm sure it's not just now starting, but there's like this trend or something where people are doing it in the sexual area where they like cut off their breathing. And
well, I think that was one of them sex tricks that they did. And then, I don't know, it's supposed to make it heighten the sensation or something.
Well, Mommy, you pick your banjo. Marnie said just let you pick your banjo while I'm gone, and I'll be right back. Bye.
Singing our song, my bird. was Won't You Come and Sing for Me. That was that's a Hazel Dickens, and she's from over there in West Virginia, down McDowell County. Maybe it's sort of like in the middle, all the way south. And she is such a wonderful person. She's dead now, but she was, if you're from West Virginia, you ought to get to reading about her, because she'll sure light your stars up, and you'll say, I am so proud to be from West Virginia. I'm telling you, it'll do it every time. I got to find me another song there that I can sing for you. I won't sing no dirty songs or nothing like that. Well, I don't know what I'll sing. I don't know what I was. Oh, I'm going to do this one. It's called Old Slewfoot, and it's a funny song. Tell me what you see. Bear tracks, will come back at me. Better get your rifle before it's too late. Bear's got a little pig headed for the gate. He's big, round, little, and broad across from running 90 miles an hour, taking 30 feet and jump. Never been caught, he ain't never been free. Some folks say I'm not like me. Saved up the money and I bought me some bees. Started making honey way up in the trees. Cut down the trees, but the honey's all gone. Slewfoot done himself at home. He's big, round, little, broad across the rumble, running 90 miles an hour, taking 30 feet and jump. Ain't never been caught, he ain't never been free. Some folks say he's not like me. Winter's coming on and it's 40 below. Rivers froze over, so where can you go? I'll chase him up the gully and I'll run him in the tail. Shoot him in the bottom just to listen to it yell. He's big, round, headed, and broad across the front, running 90 miles an hour, taking 30 feet and jump. Ain't never been caught, he ain't never been free. Some folks say it's not like me. Some folks say it's not like me. Well, that was Old Slewfoot. Old Slewfoot's an old bear. And it's just a fun song. It's a bluegrass song, I do believe. I'm not sure. And I play it on the radio all the time for my listeners because I just like it a lot. I don't know about that shooting him in the bottom, but it's just all play anyway. It's not for real. I mean, they ain't going to really chase him up a holler and shoot him in the bottom just to listen to him yell. Why, that'd just be awful, wouldn't it? I think it would be anyway. I think it would be awful. Well, let me see here. I might have another one I could do. So you don't have to just sit there and do whatever you want to do. And oh, well, let's see. I got some over here in a stack. Let me run over there and get them. I don't see no comments, so. Said studio chat, 2 people. Huh. Oh, there's a comments word. There we go. There we go. Oh, listen, look, these comments are wonderful. Let me go over here and see if I can find another song that's in that same key so that I don't have to tune or do anything like that. But I'm over here knocking everything off in the floor. Well, that one's not in that key, and that one's not in that key. I won't have to return or retune or anything like that. Well, okay. That one said poor drunkard. I don't want to sing no poor drunkard song. The thing about a banjo is I can do anything in G and A from here, but if I want to do something in C, for instance, I have to retune, and I don't want to do that. But I wouldn't mind it, but I just very rather not. Let's see what I got over here. All right, I'm back. You know, I'm not very interested in crime. I'm glad that Elizabeth finds something she likes doing and that she's interested in, and that's looking at all these crimes, reading all that stuff, you know, reading all that stuff, you know, all them old court records and everything. They're not written where you can read them very good. But there you are. That's the way it goes. There's something for everybody, isn't there? I just feel like that today I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven, living my little old simple life here with my bunch of dogs and my bunch of cats and my friends. I have a lot of friends in the county, you know, people that I've had in school and stuff. I was born in East Virginia, North Carolina, I did go. There was a young lady in her age, did not know. Her hair dark color, and her cheeks were rosy red. On her breast she wore white lilies, where I long in my head. At my heart for my darling, my door you welcome in. At my gate I'll always meet you. You're the girl I tried to win. I'd rather be in West Virginia, North Carolina, I did go. There I spied a fair young lady, and her age I did not know. And her age I did not know. Ah, well, I've just lived my life, and I am going to be anything that's going to tell my story. This is who I am, is what it's called, I think. Oh, looky, she's back. Well, I did a good job. They want me to be the star of the show and play music more often.
We're gonna do a whole show, a whole channel, a whole Sweet Tater channel. We just gotta get us a house where we can live together. I can't do it for her.
No, I ain't living with you.
Well, you can come stay with me whenever you want,
Big
or
old
come
dogs.
visit.
Big old dogs.
That's why we need us a house so we can get rid of them. Put them outside.
I thought you were going to put them in a home.
Oh.
Find you a home for wayward dogs.
Well, I was listening the whole time I was gone, and you did a great job. Thank you.
I didn't know you could just listen.
Yeah. Miss Julie says, I always look forward to seeing you on here. When you aren't, I sure miss you.
Hi, everybody. I see somebody on there said, hi, Sweet Tater.
They do, Miss Candy Cane. They all love seeing you on here. Mommy doesn't, sometimes she worries that people are going to not think good.
Oh, I don't care whether people think I'm good or not. I just want to play.
Well, good.
More fun when you play for people, I think, than when you always just play by yourself.
Yeah.
I guess I never grew up. I'm a kid at heart. That's my banjo crying. Well, are you done for the night now?
Well, no, I've got a little bit more to do. I had some discussion questions and stuff here. Isolation questions, like what we were talking about before I left. Have you ever been in a relationship where the person slowly cut you off from friends and family? I figured anybody that wanted to talk and chat, if anybody wanted to leave us some comments and let us know about their experiences. Did you realize it while it was happening, or only after you got out? What were the subtle signs that someone was trying to isolate you? Why do you think that isolation is one of the most powerful tools that abusers use? What about you, Mommy? Let's have you answer.
Well, I never did have anybody want to isolate me. Nobody ever wanted to be around me that long to put up with me. You know what I'm saying? I was just too mean. I mean, really, I was a mean child. When I was little, I was always into something, you know what I'm saying? Going in the woods and running from this one and running from that and climbing a tree and tell them I was going to jump out if they didn't leave me alone. So, you know, I was kind of naughty little kid, tell you the truth. And I spent so much time there, you know, with just my family. And then when my mom left when I was 7, that was such a shocker. Then I had to just take care of myself. You know what I'm saying? And even today, I want to cook my own food. I don't want somebody else to cook it. You know, I go in there and dabble around in the kitchen. And what was the other question about?
Well, we're just talking about isolation and, you know, domestic violence is what really we're talking about with this, like this other case. Let's finish listening to what Court TV was saying about it.
I don't know how this kid, this monster, wearing his shades.
What happened?
All right. How he really thinks that he can get away with this kind of stuff and be able to live his life. And as soon as he turns 19, these charges will just get completely wiped clean and he'll be able to go on with his life. This is not right. And this is not what I call justice at all.
All right. Our guests are going to stick around. Coming up next, why did Jesse Butler get this deal?
In her mother's life, TV.
Cody Thomas. Cody, let's get to the deal now, because everyone's been talking about the deal, and that's what everyone is upset about, obviously. What was the deal here?
Well, Vinny, the agreement kept Jesse Butler out of prison, actually. Now, KJRH, 2 News Oklahoma, reported this. A deal made between the prosecution and defense resulted in no jail time, but counseling instead. Now, Butler's father is a former football director at Oklahoma State University, leaving some to believe his connections led to a lighter sentence. Now, they noted his charges were, quote, downgraded to a youthful offender. Now, all of this upset many people in that area of Oklahoma, and some gathered for a protest. Take a look.
As a, victim myself, I believe that women have the right to, to stand up for themselves and justice to be served, honestly. And none of these girls are getting the justice that they deserve. The plea deal is just, it's not okay. It's not enough for him. It's not enough. It's a severe trauma that he's inflicted on these women. And for him to get a slap on the wrist, it's not okay.
I feel terrible for those young women. Like, almost losing your life, having a video being recorded of you almost losing your life, and your assaulter being able to just walk with no punishment, a slap on the wrist, and 150 hours of community service. Like, that's just ridiculous. DA and the assistant DA have such a history of either not filing charges against survivors or just allowing the rapists to walk free. I know that because I filed my case here when I was 17 and she wouldn't even file my charges.
Vinny, listening to those women speak, there's clearly a bit of unrest in the community surrounding this case here. I mean, it's not a question of if he did it. We know he did it. There's video. Clearly, people are upset about this in that community.
Yeah, it is a deal of deals for this now 18-year-old. And that brings us to the next question in our investigation. Why did Jesse Butler get this deal? Here to help with our investigation is retired Oklahoma judge and practicing attorney Ken Adair and Oklahoma State Representative Justin Humphrey, who represents the state's 19th district. Representative Humphrey has been very vocal about this story. Thank you both for being here. Ken, if I could begin with you, explain to me and the folks at home not from Oklahoma what this youthful offender statute is, what it means, how it's used, and how it was applied to this case.
Well, we have juvenile justice statutes in Oklahoma where minors are treated in the juvenile justice system. And we have some people that are juveniles who are close to the age of 18 who tend to fall through the cracks and don't get the benefit of the juvenile justice system. So we've created this youthful offender statute, which judges have to follow it if a person is eligible for it, and the presumption that a minor cannot form the requisite intent or the mental state to commit a crime, it's a rebuttable presumption. And if the state can dredge up enough negative past information, prior involvement with the law, they can try him as an adult. It appears to me from the record that he may have been ineligible, or the state could not justify trying him as an adult, which made him eligible for the youthful offender statute. What's really interesting to me is that he pled no contest to these crimes. They also amended the information, which is the charging instrument, and I don't have access to the amended information, but the charges apparently weren't the same as they started. Also, the probable cause affidavit that was read earlier in your segments here were the initial allegations, but there was an investigation that took place. And I'm going to speak generically because these are children, these are teenagers that we're talking about. And Debbie Vincent, the prosecutor, has a very serious reputation as being a hardcore
You know, I want to stop at and just comment on what he just said there. He said these are teenagers. He's even a teenager. This boy, the boy who did this, he's a teenager. I have teenagers. I have 2 teenage boys, 14 and 15 years old. And I think, I have to go back to what I've said from the get-go. It's all about exposure. It's all about what we expose our kids to. This boy had to have been exposed to, this kind of let me unmute you there, Mommy. It's not wanting to unmute you. Did you mute yourself? It won't let me unmute you. You'll have to unmute it from your side. There. Oh.
Up
there you are.
You're better off not listening to me. Well, the boy is a teenager, and it's pretty serious what he's doing.
Yeah.
And if it escalates, then he's going to be killing somebody. And then where's Daddy going to be? But his daddy was some sort of a coach or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a big football director. He wasn't even a coach, I think.
Oh, well, anyway, that boy is a big old boy, and he could have been good in football and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's big enough. But he might not have been very good, and his daddy did those things to him.
Or, yeah, and, I'd say that, which I'm no psychologist or nothing, but I would say that there is a psychology behind it. Some kind of a insecurity on his part that maybe he ain't good enough. Somehow, I have no idea how the psychology of a perpetrator,
but he's got to be held accountable so that he knows that behavior is wrong, regardless of, we can all day, say, poor boy, poor boy, poor boy. But we got to sometimes say, if we don't hold him accountable, then that is going to hurt his life.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the girls said that it happened to her. Whatever he did to her, he did in their house, in his house. And when she cried or screamed or whatever, she was trying to get away, his mommy came to the door. That same mommy came to the door and said, "Is everything all right?" or something like that. And she turned around and left. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of that. We won't say his name, but the first boyfriend that I ended up having right up the road from where we lived, we moved in with his mom and dad, and that was my first domestic violence relationship. And his parents knew what he was doing to me, and they stopped it. Now, I can't say that, they turned their head back and walked away when it was happening, because they didn't. If they saw him putting his hands on me, then, you know, usually his dad would intervene. But the parents, how many times does it happen that the parents make excuses for their kids? And because we don't hold them accountable as parents and as children, then the law the jail will end up holding them accountable. Law enforcement. We hear that around here all the time. You got anything you want to say, Mommy?
No, that was all.
Okay.
Prosecutor, decades of prosecuting sex crimes, prosecuting crimes against women. She is not a pushover. And the district judge that sentenced on this no contest plea, and that's interesting, and I want to talk about that. But Judge Colling noted that he followed the dictates of the youthful offender statute. So he was sentenced to 78 years in prison. There were 10-year sentences, 10-year sentences, other sentences that are being run concurrently, but he was sentenced on no contest pleas. No contest pleas on sex cases is very rare, because if you plead no contest and you go to your sex offender treatment, you go to your counseling and you say, I didn't do anything, you're going to get kicked out and you're going to fail your probation, and off to the hoosegow he goes. So that's curious to me, and what I suspect is, and I don't know, and I think it's wrong to speculate about what did and didn't happen, because we're never going to get the whole story about what happened from these children, these teenagers, about what happened. But for whatever reason, the prosecutor apparently did not think that she could get a conviction, prove beyond a reasonable doubt every element of every crime alleged with these two victims that happened over from the time he was 16 until he was in his 17th year. So I think it's unfortunate, because the judge did what he had to do. The prosecutor did, apparently, and this is not a slouch of a prosecutor. There are lazy prosecutors. There are weak prosecutors. Debbie Vincent is not one of those people. She has a reputation of being very tough. And so you heard some anecdotal stories about people that said she wouldn't prosecute her case. I don't know that case, but I do know prosecutors have a duty to not file cases they don't believe they can get a conviction on.
Let me do this.
Because we can't get the full. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to. I don't want to run out of time. We're always running against the clock here, so I just wanted to get Justin in. And Justin, your thoughts about why this happened the way it happened, and your thoughts about how it's all turned out here.
Well, first of all, we had a grand jury that was canceled just weeks before this. So in the same time period, we're trying to get a grand jury because of these type of cases that are systematic throughout this county. And so, again, it's systemic. I appreciate what your judge there is talking about as far as the how a young man gets adjudicated or not gets adjudicated, held responsible. This guy did heinous crimes. He's 17. It's my understanding, I thought they did adjudicate him and later come back and sentenced him under youthful offender. I'd have to go back and check on that. But the problem is we see a pattern in this county. If you want to go look at, I could give you names right now. We're not going to air those names. But if you want me to start naming names of cases that are just as horrific as this, I can easily name that, including in their own DA's office that they had an ADA that was caught with approximately 150 videos of child pornography in 2022 and is yet to be prosecuted. I would think that'd be high on my list to prosecute. So that's why we were there trying to get a grand jury in that county. We obstructed that. The judge illegally threw that grand jury out. And that's what we're trying to do again, is to expose this very corrupt system that is in Payne County and again across the state of Oklahoma. These things are going across the state of Oklahoma. I support our judges. I've 35 years. We got awesome judges. We got great people in Oklahoma in the court system, but we cannot allow our court system to be corrupted, and these people need to be held accountable.
Yep.
All right, Ken, I'll give you, we have about 40 seconds left here. I'll give you the final word.
I just think it's a disservice to these judges who did what they had to do under the law that was there to protect minors from being held accountable as adults. Now your other guest, Representative Humphreys, worked for DOC, retired from the Department of Corrections. He knows how abysmally evil that place is, and we don't need to be taking 16 and 17-year-old people and putting them in there because they're going to get out. They're going to eventually get out, and they produce defective products. We give them the raw materials of accused criminals, convicted criminals, and they come out defective. And this process is to help protect children. Now, if he messes up, he's gone. He's going to prison. He's got to do what he's supposed to do. And there's more to the story that we will never know because they're juveniles, they're minors, and there's stuff behind the scenes. I'm just saying, looking at these pleas and the way it played out, there's something else going on here that is not corruption. And I think it's easy to say corruption, but it's different. It's easy to make an allegation, but it's very difficult to prove an allegation.
All right. Justin, I'll give you 10 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got abundance of proof. I agree with the judge on the prisons are bad places for bad people. But if you rape 2 women and you're 17-year-old, I think you need to be held accountable. I've got a young man, Eric Proctor, that got 330 years for aiding and abetting rape here in Oklahoma. So we'll give a juvenile. He was a juvenile also. I agree with the judge. We need to clean up our prison, and we need to have evidence. It's easy. I agree with him. You have evidence. I'm a guy who goes to court a lot. I wouldn't bring forward and call corruption if I didn't have evidence. I agree with everything the judge is saying, but I do have evidence.
Gotcha. Ken Adair, Justin Humphrey, appreciate your time and your passion. Still to come, why was this arrest handled with kid gloves for his crimes? Here's the story.
In the heart of Oklahoma's college town, neighbors were rocked by the revelation that star teen athlete Jesse Butler was accused of a campaign of sexual violence against 2 teenage girls. He pleaded no contest to 10 rape-related charges, including a count of violating a protective order. His victims' voices filled with pain and with fear. The video, the medical reports, the phone records all told a story of cruelty and suffering. Yet, when the sentence came outside the courtroom, families wept. Under the youthful offender law, Butler's 78-year term was suspended, and he remains free under supervision until he turns 19. Protesters flooded the courthouse demanding the system protect its girls. If brutal sexual assault doesn't demand some prison time, what does justice truly mean?
I told you at the top you'd be shaking your head all hour. Let's bring back in Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas, help us walk through the story. Now, let's talk about the day he gets arrested. What are the circumstances surrounding his arrest?
Well, Vinny, of course, there were 2 victims who were in romantic relationships with Jesse Butler for a few months each, who initially brought these allegations against him. But before we get into those circumstances surrounding the arrest, let's take a look at that body cam video from the day he was arrested in March of 2025.
We're ready to obviously tell our story too.
Yeah.
Jess, it's Mom. Open the door. It's me.
And if you'll just have him step out, then.
Give me your wallet and phone and stuff. So, okay. Your what?
They're in the car.
Well, okay, it's fine. It's not locked or anything, is it? Okay. So, can you tell him what you just told me, or?
Yeah, so we're here. We're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact a bondsman, and you shouldn't be there very long, but there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs. So turn around for me.
You have to put him in handcuffs?
There's warrant for asking the common transport somebody in custody.
You know we're doing this. It's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll get you out for me. All right. Stay silent. Rick knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's on his way. We're coming to get you, okay? Stay strong, okay? Say your prayers.
Okay, so he's going to go right to the city of Stillwater jail, and if you'll just contact her, then she does this all the time. She knows what to do.
Yep.
Make sure
Okay.
she knows Stillwater Police Department, not a county.
Stillwater Police Department on Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them know that we're the ones that picked him up.
And
They
when
don't-
you say we are the ones.
Stillwater PD.
Stillwater PD.
Yeah,
Okay.
that way they don't think he went like straight over and he's over at the county.
Awful experience for the child.
Patch it down, spread your feet for me. Nothing in your socks.
Yeah, Vinny, so police seem a little gentle there given the heavy circumstances here, but let's talk about the first victim. Now, she was underage, so she was not named in the arrest affidavit, but the document shows that she and Butler dated from January to March of 2024. On September 12th of that year, a school resource officer took a report from the victim who says Butler twice attempted to rape and assault her. And after an investigation, several other sexually violent incidents were presented between Butler and the victim in February of 2024. All of that, of course, according to the affidavit. Now, the second victim dated Butler from March to September of 2024. She reported her incidents to the school resource officer at the same time as the first victim. Now, this victim's allegations concerned domestic assault and battery by strangulation. An investigation into her story found more instances of physical aggression and violence, so much to the point where this victim said she felt coerced to have sex with Butler to avoid being strangled and further abused. Now, Jesse Butler was 17 years old at the time of his arrest. He's 18 now, but let's take a look at the charges he faced when he was arrested as outlined by the arrest affidavit. Now, for the first victim, you have domestic assault and battery, a misdemeanor, followed by several felonies, including domestic abuse and strangulation, sexual battery, rape by instrumentation, sodomy, attempted first-degree rape, and kidnapping. Charges related to the second victim include all of that except the first-degree rape and the kidnapping charges. Now, we know that Butler pled no contest to the 10 rape-related charges and is serving, of course, that suspended 78-year sentence without being behind bars, Vinny.
All right, what a contrast. Cody, thanks so much. Great work tonight. And the contrast between the level of these charges that the arrest is for and the nature of the actual arrest. And it brings us to the next question in our investigation. Why was this arrest handled with kid gloves? Is it because he's just 17? Here to help answer that question is Pascal, the host of The Pascal Show, and former law enforcement officer and host of the Strong Enough podcast, Claudia King. Claudia, I'll begin with you. You saw the list of the charges. That's what the arrest is for. And then we all watched the way the arrest went down. Why do you think that he was treated that particular way? Is that normal? Is that not normal? Is it because he's 17? What are your thoughts about how that arrest went down?
My thoughts are the arrest went down that way because of influence. I believe that the Mack family clearly is influential in that community. They know other people who are influential, and so they had to treat him that way or else be forced to seek retribution or see retribution in their actions from this family and from people who know this family. It was not normal how he was treated. The search was terrible, by the way, of him before they put him in the car. Just very disappointing all the way around with this case.
Yeah.
Pascal, what went through your mind the first time you saw the arrest video?
What a crybaby. Justice is coming, but apparently justice was not coming. You know, what's really frustrating about this is that we are consistently seeing countless times repeat offenders getting a slap on the wrist.
Yep.
And this is exactly what we're seeing right now. And what I fear is that the likes of this kid, Jesse, is going to do something even more violent. He's going to do something even more egregious, even more nefarious. I mean, look at the likes of Keon King. Look at the likes of Jake Haro, what he did to Emmanuel Haro. These guys were repeat offenders, and the courts, once again, were very light to them when they should have been hit with the entire library, not just the book, the whole damn library.
Claudia, when you're making an arrest, and I don't know if there's what the standard procedure is, how often does a discussion precede it? like explaining to someone why you're being arrested, and then rather than like, you know, put your hands behind your back, cuff them and explain them. Because we watch a lot of body cam videos, and this just struck me differently, but I don't know if it's normal for these circumstances. Just the physically, like when he gets cuffed and when he gets told, and the way that goes.
I didn't think it was normal. I mean, obviously, you always want to be respectful to the individual that you're arresting. Technically, they are innocent until proven guilty. So you want to be respectful. You don't want to purposely hurt them, but at the same time, you don't need to be all sweet and kind and talk to their mommy first and explain everything to her and let her go in the house and get him. I just thought the way that they treated him was absolutely not normal. Again, you don't have to purposely try to hurt him, but you should treat him like the criminal that he is currently alleged to be. He is a dangerous person at this moment, and that's how he should have been treated, and he definitely was not.
Yeah, Pascal, you talk about things like kidnapping and attempted rape, and these are extremely serious, yet there doesn't seem to be that same level of seriousness at the actual arrest. Like there was, you watch body camera videos all the time too, and obviously some circumstances a little more hyped up than others. If there's a chase, I understand there was some coordination here, but still, you don't know how that suspect is going to react. It was really strange to me.
He's a baby.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is the whole, as you said, this whole kid gloves type of thing, instead of actually treating him exactly how he is, as a criminal. I don't understand why they would sit there and try to be kind to him. Absolutely put him in handcuffs. Absolutely pat him down, do the search, because he's supposed to be a criminal. He is a criminal. So it doesn't make any sense that this kid is still out here being able to be a kid.
Yeah.
He lost that privilege when he did those things to those multiple people that stepped forward and spoke out against him.
Pascal, host of the Pascal Show. Make sure you check it out on YouTube.
I agree. They're fussing about the arrest. And so for anybody who's not aware, there's a couple comments in the comment section. Out of everything they could talk about this case, they choose to speak on the by the book arrest. Let's see. On another comment. Why are they putting such emphasis on the arrest? It seems pretty standard to me. I mean, I know the kids in Aspen, are they supposed to beat him up or something? Here's a better one. My dog Rex. Bad arrest. Was they supposed to beat him to death while handcuffed? I understand why you're saying that. Bella, come on, man. And I understand kind of what they're talking about. But here, I'm going to take it to a different, let me unmute Mommy. I'm going to take it a different way than what they're saying. I don't have a problem with them being nice to him, you know, like speaking. Not, Mom, you're going to have to unmute yourself if you want to talk. It won't let me. There you are. My problem with it isn't them being, you know, polite and nice to him. I have a problem when they come off going, you effing blah, and, you know, every other word is the F word, and they're screaming and, you know, being real abusive. I have a problem with them when they come off doing that, because, you know, they don't like you for what you're being charged with or whatever. The problem is the favoritism. It's the favors, the special treatment that he got for who his daddy is. You know, they were all kind of giving him, what's the word I'm looking for, Mom? Giving him courtesy. They were giving him a courtesy. usually they're not going to let your mommy go in and get you. You know, they're not going to sit there and give your mommy, you know, kind of the rundown. It was actually what it reminded me of was the little girl in Arizona who unalived her baby in the hospital. What was her name? I forget her name, but she was the one that had the baby in the hospital in the bathroom, and she wrapped it up in the bag and stuck it under the garbage can. It kind of reminded me of her arrest. Whenever they came to her house and arrested her, they were very nice. They were very polite. They were very by the book. But it reminded me of her arrest. I can't really tell you why, but it did. All right, let's get back.
Study a jury's behavioral patterns.
Our host of the Strong Enough podcast, Claudia King. Justin, what are your thoughts here about justice being served?
Well, I don't think that justice was served in this situation. I think that when he was facing 78 years, that was more like justice, because now what you have is you have two young girls, both left with a lot of trauma, emotional scars, one of them with physical scars on her neck from the surgery that she had to get because of the injuries he inflicted on her.
Okay, so let me show you this real fast. Before we continue on with that, here is the little girl. Here's the pictures of the little girl who had to have the surgery. Look at the big bruise on her neck there. The photo shows the damaged vein that would swell up. Doctors said it was directly related to the strangulation. If you still have that knot in your neck, you should get it checked. Absolutely. There's a picture of the judge who did this, and she's a woman, which is just shocking to me. This was another Seth Robert Swaim, teacher girls how to fight back instead of cheerleaders, teach them to fight. Judo, boxing, men don't have. I'm not sure what this boy did. He was in one of the articles. I'm sure it's going to tell us, though. A big update, Jessie Mack Butler. And it was worse than we knew. That's a picture of her neck there. And there's one of the little girls in the hospital. And there's the other one that we see the pictures of. And there's her neck. That must have been from the surgery she had to have for the strangulation. And then that must be a better picture of it after it's been healed some. But, so that is the little girl. And I wanted to go up here and read this. It says, Jessie Butler, well, we know what all he was charged with. The doctors say she was 30 seconds away from death with what he did to her. The injuries shown in the attached pics said she's had to have surgery as a direct result of that strangulation. She's still dealing with the trauma and the physical damage. Bella, quick. While the man who did it is out walking free. He was originally facing 78 years in prison. 78 years. And he got out with nothing. That's pretty big. You know, that reminds me of the Patrick Little case. See, that's what I'm always talking about. The sentencing ranges and the differences in discretion that the judges have. Patrick Little was facing like 30 years, I think. 30 years. And he got off with 5 years probation, house arrest, and work release. 5 years, not 1 day in jail. Same as this little boy. He didn't have 1 day in jail that I know of. I think they got him out. But if I'm wrong, we'll find out. 78 years. But then Judge Susan Worthington got a hold of this case. And now Butler's punishment is 150 hours of community service and some counseling sessions. That's it. He pled no contest to rape, strangulation, and sexual battery, and he walked out with probation. This isn't a mistake. This is a culture in Stillwater and around the country. This is a culture everywhere, I think. Where predators are protected and victims are left to relive their trauma while watching their abusers walk the streets. And it's not just Jesse Butler. Former teacher Seth Swaim, so that's the other boy, was convicted of sexting a 13-year-old, then reoffended while out on bond. The same court system reduced his bail even after he violated protective orders 11 times. 11 times he violated an EPO. 11 times. And that's not even being mentioned. That's the first time I've heard that. I heard that he violated a protective order, but that was all I heard, was that he violated a protective order. I didn't hear 11 times until just now. I don't know if you guys did, but I didn't. Wow. He should once, as soon as they violate them once, they are picked up usually and put in jail because of bond. They violate their bond conditions. Now the people of Stillwater, Oklahoma, are done staying quiet. They're organizing a protest, and I guess they had a big protest on November 5th. Demanding accountability from the judges and the prosecutors who keep letting predators walk free. Now, if you're angry about this and want to do something, you can. You can actually help. Take 2 seconds and sign the petition to stop child predators from getting plea deals. This is how we start to impact change. And if you've already signed, send it to one person who hasn't. We'll add it in. I didn't know about it until just now reading it. So it's on change.org, just to let y'all know. If anybody wants to go, you can just Google it. You can just put it in the search bar and it'll pull it right up for you. Let me make sure I say it right. It is change.org, and then it's got a /P, like as in pizza, and then another / stop plea deals for child predators. And then we will read that other story on another show. Yeah. I agree, Smick. Something more to that. For him to have 11 times and he's not locked up, yeah, there's something more to that. I agree.
Is that the case you just showed us?
Yes.
11 times?
I'm pretty sure, unless I read that wrong. Let me look back.
For that other boy.
I'm pretty sure it goes with the one. Oh, no. I'm wrong. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Mommy. Former teacher, let me reread it. Former teacher Seth Swain was convicted of sexting a 13-year-old girl, then reoffended while out on bond. The same court system reduced his bail even after he violated protective orders 11 times. So, yes, I think that is the teacher, the Swain guy who violated 11 times. Thank you for bringing that to my attention because I had that mixed up. So that was not the boy, y'all. The 11 times violator was not the Graper boy. It was the other one. But still. Oh, Miss Mick said she's referring to the neck anyway. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've been on here almost 2 hours. I'm going to go ahead and end it. Do you have anything you want to say about this case, Mommy?
Well, the boy is pitiful. And I don't know how that's going to turn out for him. And the people should get up in arms because I feel sure that he was given privilege. But you know, they're under pressure too. So when they went to arrest him, wasn't a normal arrest because somebody was there videotaping it. So how could it be normal? There's going to be extra because they wanted to protect themselves.
Oh yeah. And anymore, listen, I think that we're seeing more law enforcement do just that. You know, they're not gonna risk their job or risk their own, anything. I think we're seeing people are starting to protect self above.
I hope that we're seeing that people are using more respect when they go to arrest people.
Well, I mean, I guess we can hope that that's why. I guess the intention or the motivation doesn't really matter as long as their actions are.
Well, yeah, I don't want to be treated like a dog.
No. So as we close tonight, I want to just bring this on home. Not just the facts of the case, but the message behind it. The law is supposed to protect the vulnerable. Statutes around rape and sexual assault and domestic violence exist because the state recognizes the severity of the harm and the lifelong trauma that follows. But the law doesn't mean anything if the people enforcing it turn their eyes away, get starstruck by a last name, or treat violent crimes as if they're mistakes that can just be erased with therapy and a curfew. When someone faces charges like sexual battery, rape by force, or strangulation, the statutes are very clear. These are felonies designed to remove a dangerous person from the community. They're meant to stop the cycle before it ends with another victim, another obituary, or another mother standing over a coffin that she never should have had to see. And in almost every case involving sexual violence or domestic violence, or domestic abuse, isolation is the common thread. Abusers isolate because isolated victims are easier to control, they're easier to manipulate, and easier to silence. And when the system reinforces that silence, whether intentionally or by incompetence, the abuser wins twice. So if you're watching this tonight and you feel that knot in the pit of your stomach because something sounds just familiar, maybe you've been pulled away from your friends. Maybe you've been made to feel like you're the crazy one, the dramatic one, the problem. Hear me very clearly. That is not love. That is control. And control is the root of abuse. To the survivors out there, you're not alone. Your voice matters, and your story deserves better than a system that looks the other way. To the viewers, most importantly, educate yourselves on the laws. Know what the charges mean. Know what isolation looks like. And don't be afraid to speak up when something seems wrong. See something, say something. Independent journalism exists because the truth needs somebody willing to tell it, even when the powerful don't want it to be told. Now, I'm Elizabeth, and this is Hillbilly Crime, where we shine a light into the dark corners other folks try to avoid. Thank y'all for being here. God bless. Stay safe. And remember that the truth ain't free, but together we can afford it. All right, y'all. Thank you, Jesus, for another day being able to come together in your name. Lord, we pray for healing tonight. We pray for healing and we pray for salvation. We pray for those who are lost. You know, even though I believe in Jesus, even though I know I'm saved, I still get lost. I still find myself stuck. I find myself struggling with resentments, bitterness, and, you know, things that I can't let go of. But that's why I have to give it to you, Lord. I give it all to you. And I try to not take it back. You know, don't let me take it back, Lord. I give it all to you. It's all in your hands. And however your will plays out, I pray for your will. I pray that you help me, Lord. Help me to just continue on the path that you've got me on. Don't let my feet stray. Don't let my feet falter, stumble. Keep me straight. Don't let me get distracted, Lord. I pray that you will put your hand of protection up around about us, and that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. I love you, Jesus. I pray that you'll forgive me for my sins. Help me to be a better me tomorrow than I was today. Whatever doors you open that you want me to walk through, Lord, I pray that you'll help me to walk through them. Give me the strength. Give me the courage. I thank you, Lord. I thank you for all the blessings that you give me. I try really, really hard not to ever be disappointed and not to ever be feel sorry for myself, Lord, because all it takes is just to open your eyes and look a little bit further and you'll see somebody that has it worse than us. And so I'm so grateful for everything that I have. I'm very grateful for it. I know, Lord, that it could be gone in an instant. So I'm thankful, Lord. I thank you, Jesus, just for everything. I thank you for your presence in my life, that I'm not alone. I praise you, Jesus. Even at my rock bottom, you're always there. Hallelujah, Lord. Hallelujah. I pray for the lost tonight, Lord, that those that don't know you, that they'll want to know you, that they'll want to get to know you, Lord. I pray that the Holy Ghost will draw them and soften their hearts to where you can mold them into who they need to be in you. And me too. I pray that you'll mold me into who I am in Christ, who you want me to be. That everything that the devil means for evil, that you're going to turn it around for the good of those who love you and those who are called according to your purpose. Help us to learn that the world doesn't revolve around us. We're just a speck of sand in a whole big beach full of sand. The purpose is your will. And how can we fit into your will, not how your will fits into our lives? Use me, Lord. Use us for whatever purpose you have for each of us, Lord. I pray that you'll touch each of us according to the need, whether it be physical, emotional, mental, but above all spiritual, because without that, none of the rest matters. Go with us tonight, Lord, and bring us back safe tomorrow. We give you all praise, honor, and glory in Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys. Well, you all have a great rest of your night. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And we will see you all tomorrow. All right. Peace out, Girl Scout.
From hillbilly crime, you can't hide from hillbilly crime. You may not know that there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dark pass away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds. Whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside. A treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't mask the cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the sea